Alright everyone, welcome to another episode of Unfolding Stories. I'm your host, and today we have a tale that's going to take you on an emotional roller coaster ride through the eyes of one young girl. But before we dive in, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right now. It means so much for us to grow this community together. Let's get started. It was my first week at a new school when I met Kelsey. She was friendly and inviting, and it didn't take long for me to feel like we were instant best friends. Soon enough, she invited me over for the weekend sleepover that all girls dream about: pizza, movies, and giggling late into the night. My mom gave her blessing, and before I knew it, I was settling in at Kelsey's place. The house was cozy and warm, with a living room filled with family photos and homely knickknacks. Her parents were there too. Her mother was bubbly and welcoming, making me feel right at home. But then there was her dad. Tall, silent, and imposing. He seemed to loom in the background, his presence heavy but not hostile. I just nodded politely whenever we made eye contact, trying my hardest not to let it bother me. Once night fell, Kelsey's mom tucked us into bed with a whispered goodnight. The house was quiet except for the distant hum of the air conditioning and our soft chatter as we drifted off. But something woke me up in the middle of the night. A shiver ran down my spine, followed by a feeling that wasn't quite right. I could feel the blanket moving next to me. My eyes fluttered open just enough to see a shadowy figure leaning over us. I blinked twice and it was gone, but I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. As I tried to fall back asleep, the same sensation returned, the blanket being lifted slightly from my side of the bed. This time I sat up, heart racing in my chest. There he was again, hovering just a few inches away. My thighs were exposed because Kelsey's shirt had ridden up during sleep. Fear gripped me as I realized what might have happened if I hadn't woken up. But instead of screaming or reacting, I pulled the blanket tightly around myself and pretended to be asleep. He stood there for a moment, his eyes searching mine before he retreated back towards the corner of the room. It was only then that I noticed him lingering outside our door too, in the hallway, watching me like a hawk. My heart thudded against my ribcage as I tried calling home, but with no luck at 3 in the morning. The silence was deafening. Alone and scared, I turned to my phone for company. The chat messages were slow, but at least there were others out there who understood. After what felt like an eternity, Kelsey woke up, and she noticed something was off. She asked me if everything was okay, but all I could do was shake my head. I eventually mustered the courage to tell her about his intrusion into our room. The look of horror on her face made me feel even worse, not only for what had happened, but also for potentially ruining our friendship. But Kelsey surprised me by insisting we tell her mom right away. Reluctantly, I agreed. That night was a turning point in my life. It forced me to see through the veil of safety and innocence that often surrounds us as teenagers. The next day, with Kelsey's help, my parents came over to confront her dad. They managed to get him out of the house for good, ensuring we could both sleep soundly again. Kelsey is still one of my closest friends today. We've grown through this experience and learned how important it is to trust our instincts and speak up when something feels wrong. And I can't help but think about how different things might have been if I hadn't woken up that night. If the small act of feeling the blanket being lifted had not roused me from my sleep. Can you imagine what could have happened? What would you do in a situation like this? So, here's to those moments that shape us and teach us resilience. It's okay to feel scared or unsure sometimes, but it's vital to be brave enough to face the darkness head on. If you enjoyed today's story, please hit that subscribe button, share with your friends, and leave a comment telling me what you thought about this episode. Until next time, keep those stories coming in. Stay strong, stay safe, and remember, every moment is an opportunity for growth.